Hi, welcome to Off Script. I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Today on the show, it is our first show of 2026. Very exciting, and we're looking at the last two big features of 2025. The top 10 films of the year list. We're doing top 5 TV. We're looking at a couple trailers. Huge episode. Might be the biggest episode of the year, so I'm so excited you're joining us. We're going to jump right into it. Light news this week, because we got to get down to Avatar and Marty Supreme. First and only story from the box office, Andy, Avatar is making the money. It's making all of the money. All of the Christmas money is going to Avatar. A little bit of a surprise. I don't think it's doing as well as Avatar 2 did, but it's still probably on track to make $1 billion, I think, right?
Yeah, never bet against Big Jim. Avatar Fire and Ash passed 64 million over the weekend domestically, 760 million globally. It's again, the international box office is really blowing up for Avatar Fire and Ash. It's the one property that you can just count on audiences to go and have repeat viewings. These numbers are a few days old, so it's doing even better now.
Yeah, I was reading something just this morning from Forbes saying it was coming up on 900 million here. Absolutely crazy. Man, we saw Avatar. We're just about to talk about it. We actually put out the review just before the holiday break, right after we saw it. So that is available on the channel. Well, hold on. If you're listening to this or watching this, you know it's available because, all right, I'm overthinking this. Anyway, we talked about it earlier before we're actually recording this, so it's been available for a minute. But even still, like since then, it seems like more and more people are just pouring into theaters. The international market is insane. Like I know here in the United States, would you say it's like 180 million here or something? Overseas is making way more money, right?
Yeah, it's making 500 million overseas, doing well in China, which again, it's hard to break the Chinese market these days. So, but again, the films are so Avatar is such a visual spectacle. It doesn't really matter like what's going on, like plot, character, narrative, but just like because it looks amazing and it travels well overseas because of that.
Yeah. Same goes for Zootopia 2. I was just reading, I think Zootopia 2 is on track to be Disney's biggest animated film ever. It's going to pass Frozen 2, which is crazy that both of those are sequels, and even crazier that Disney used to be the company that just put all their animated sequels like direct to DVD, right? Like most of their animated sequels used to be junk, and then like Toy Story 2 came along, and that one was kind of cool, and ever since they've kind of been investing, and now Frozen 2, and then Inside Out 2, and now this is huge, and they're making Toy Story 5. Like the sequel machine keeps cranking, and it keeps making money. Do you think James Cameron's going to do another one of these?
Who knows? I know he has some other projects that he wants to do. There's this Hiroshima.
Ghosts of Hiroshima.
Project. Yeah. Thank you. That there's some other things he's talked about. He's talked about maybe handing off. It kind of depends on how good Fire and Ash does. If Fire and Ash does as well as The Way of Water, then he might come back for it. If it underperform or isn't as strong, he might move on. So we'll kind of
Any
see.
other numbers you want to talk about before we jump into Avatar?
Yeah, Zootopia 2 made 20 million over the weekend, 1.4 billion globally. It's been out since Thanksgiving, so it's had a long time. Has done well in China. This is, again, Disney's now top grossing animated feature of all time, past Frozen 2 just this week. So that's a huge hit for them. In third place was Marty Supreme with 15.6 million, 30 million globally. The Housemaid, which stars Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney, 15.4 million, 60 million worldwide. I think that movie's already a success. It's not a Colleen Hoover adaptation, but it feels like it should be. It's a different author. Anaconda, the reboot remake meta thing with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, 14.6 million over the weekend, 43 million globally. Doing pretty well, I think, for that size. Comedies struggle at the box office.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Anaconda is doing as well as it is. Like, I guess I'm not that surprised. You're right, it's the holiday. Like, this is just kind of what people go see, right? You just go see something at the movies. Okay, Anaconda's the comedy, whatever. The guy from Minecraft is in it. Cool, we'll go see that. Like, I guess I see that fine. I was really surprised, and I guess maybe I shouldn't have been. The SpongeBob movie didn't do that good. Typically, those movies do pretty well. Paramount's made like 5 of them or something, right? Like it's a new Nickelodeon feature, but it came in behind Angel Studios' faith-based movie David, right? Which, I've seen so much promo for freaking David.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, I see ads for David everywhere. It's nuts. Like, David made, what is this, $49 million? Like, and then SpongeBob made 37 million. That's crazy to me. Like, really? The Christian movie made more money than SpongeBob? But it's, I think Paramount's got like an abundance problem. There's like 5 SpongeBob movies, right? Like, who can keep up? I think it just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem as meaningful anymore, maybe. And then Song Sung Blue did really poorly, right?
Right. That's the new film starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Moss, which is, it's like kind of a biopic of a real life music duo, Neil Diamond tribute band. Which I've heard that movie takes a real sharp turn halfway. Like, that's the premise. It's this, a cover band of these two people that are in a cover band, but then there's like some really weird stuff. It takes really sharp turns, apparently.
Yeah, one of the stars, one of the performers who it's based on, I think the guy of the two of them, Lightning and Thunder, the two characters in there, his son came out decrying the movie the other day and said this is awful and completely wrong, which is weird because that same guy's daughter had done a feature with Jackman, like singing Sweet Caroline at a bar earlier this year. So like, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, apparently it's some kind of bio. We didn't watch it. If we did, my plan was to put a Song Sung Board on the thumbnail, but I haven't seen it. And apparently critics say it's pretty good, and it's got a 98 on Rotten from the audience score. So like, for what it's worth, while nobody is seeing it, apparently the people who have seen it say it's a good time. So I don't know. Song Sung Blue, it might be worth it. January and February is looking lean, gonna be honest. We were looking at the calendar for things to watch, and Andy and I are sweating. Yeah, we might end up watching it here in a month or two, so maybe I should hold my slander. But any thoughts on the box office?
No, I think I'm ready to move on.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Like I said, we already recorded this, so we're going to insert this right here for y'all. We might look a little different, but I promise the review's just as good. Who talks about that? I talk about this? I'm pretty sure me. Yeah. Hold on. This is me talking about it. Yeah, this is our review for Avatar, Fire and Ash. So Avatar Fire and Ash picks up just about a year after the events of Avatar The Way of Water, which came out in 2022. Before that, Avatar came out in 2009. So quite a jump between those first two films. These next two here, just 3 years, right? And our characters have not changed much. We pick up with Loak, the son of Jake Sully and Neytiri, who is struggling following the death of his brother at the end of part 2. He has not really found his footing yet. Neytiri is doing really poorly and is kind of in mourning. The other kids are not doing too good either. The family kind of sets out on a bit of a journey to take Spider, played by Jack Champion in the film, the one live action kid running around, back to kind of a different trial. Let's get him out of here. He's still tangled up with that Colonel Miles Quaritch guy, played by Stephen Lang, who came back as another Avatar in part 2. And is still kind of on the hunt for his genetic son, right? That's what Spider is. So they set out to kind of get rid of Spider and kind of go on a journey. And then through some misfortune, they are attacked by this fire clan led by Varang. Yeah. The played by Oona Chaplin. She's the kind of the fire Na'vi chick who's looking to burn the whole world down, right? And they get split up. And our movie becomes kind of a journey to kind of get back together and get our footing again, and maybe figure out a way to stop the RDF and the humans who are going to colonize the planet, and also this fire Na'vi tribe who've kind of now come together and met. Quaritch and Varang meet, and they have kind of this fling thing, and then they decide, hey, we're gonna take out all the Na'vi and get rid of them, right? Take out Awa once and for all. So it's a giant fight to the finish, right? For all the marbles this time at the end of Fire and Ash. It's the biggest war ever, right? The biggest fight it's ever been. And that's Avatar Fire and Ash. It is 3 hours and 17 minutes. We saw it in IMAX 3D. A bit of a haul, gonna be honest, but I'm excited to talk about it. Andy, what'd you think of the movie?
So I was with it for about the first 2 hours and then really struggled with the last third of it. And one of the big criticisms that's been levied against it is that it's just so similar to the second movie. And the last third of it really is this: we have whales, we have like water battles, lots of water battles against like the baddies, and then all our flying people, our whale people, our sea people all coming together to fight the bad guys. It moves along. I think it's paced really well. It never feels slow. but it kind of doesn't make sense altogether. Like when you're in a scene, the scene itself makes sense. You said, okay, this is a good guy, this is the bad guy, this is what they each want, but then it just won't really make sense with the next scene or the next 5 scenes or something from the beginning. I do think that Varang, played by Oona Chaplin, is a standout. She's the fire Navi. She's very kind of seductive. She's a little crazy. She doesn't get enough screen time. She disappears for like a third of the movie, and I'm like, we really needed more of her in that. Also, her motivation isn't super clear. She is like not in tune with nature, and she does believe in Iowa's will, and that the fire burned our village and didn't care, and where was Iowa, and so she's a very chaotic character. She's kind of like the Joker, and she aligns herself with Quaritch because he shows them firepower, guns, weapons of that kind of destruction. It looks beautiful. We have incredible visuals. Cameron is always good at that. Before this, we saw the Mandalorian trailer in 3D, and it looked god awful. Meant to mention that earlier. It just it's a 3D scan, and it looked real bad. And then the movie started, and everything looks great.
Yeah, I think Avatar is slipping out of where I felt like it was trying to sit in like prestige cinema. Like with this entry, and it feels like it is falling down to the level of like the later Jurassic Park sequels, the later Transformers sequels. Super fun for the whole family. Visual spectacle, get the large popcorn, right? 3 hours, go see it in 3D. It's going to be great. But despite like these lofty themes that it's got, it just is not that compelling anymore. Like I felt like in Avatar 1 we had a big journey to a new place, right? Like Jake Sully is going from Earth, traveling like 23,000 light years over Pandora. He becomes an avatar. He goes to the forest. They go up to the sky mountains, and he meets his dragon thing that he rides, right? Like it's a big like journey through all of this. In Avatar 2, we leave that forest and go to like the Water Clan, and Quaritch comes back, and they've got all this new technology. And like I just felt like there was a bit of, and Spider's like this mix in of live action. Like I just felt like there was a bit more to bring to it. And Fire and Ash doesn't have that. It is just kind of part 2 of Avatar 2, and it hurts it. They're obviously a pair of films, right? Like water and fire, like they kind of go together. There's a lot of mirrors in the movie, which I think are some of those lofty themes. Jake Sully and Quaritch, right, are 2 sides of the coin. Neytiri and Varang are 2 sides of the coin, right? Like in a lot of ways, like Loak and Spider, right, the other son, who aren't really Jake's son, like they kind of have a lot going on. Like there's these like dualities going on in these movies, but like right around the halfway point they fall off this. At the end, in the first act, they get on this like these like ships with these merchant traders, and we meet some new characters, and we're going to a new place, and there's like this fire clan comes in, and that's where it feels like, okay, we're getting along. And then once we get into act 2, they just kind of they walk it back, and they're like, actually we're gonna go back to where we were. This is where we're going to be hanging out the whole movie. It's a lot of scenes like in the jungle at night, in the swamp at night, on the ship, in the jungle. Like, so you start to lose sense of setting. Yeah. And your scenes really start to feel disjointed in a way that I think hurts the movie. You could, like, obviously it's all shot on mocap. It's all like individual sequences. And they shot this stuff years ago. But you'll have a scene where like Loak is feeling really emotional about the death of his brother and can't take it anymore, and like goes out to the beach to like by himself, maybe to take some rash action. And then you like cut to that, from like that to him giving his mother a gift, and it's a totally different emotion on his face. We've jumped like hours in time. He's leapt like miles across the stage. Quaritch has this problem. Like his development into more of a Na'vi and less of a military guy happens very quickly, and a lot of it kind of happens off screen. Before you know it, he's dressing like him. You're like, well, hold on a second. Like for a movie with 3.5 hours, it shouldn't feel like every character only gets a third of the movie, but it does. Yeah, Neytiri only gets like a third of the movie. Varang only gets like a third of the movie. It's weird. Like it's overstuffed, and I think it's just, like it's struggling under the weight of how much it's got to do.
Our characters don't really develop very much. They're kind of the same the whole way. One of the more interesting plot points is that Spider, who is humans can't breathe the air on Pandora. They all wear masks, and kind of through the power of Iowa and nature, he goes under a transformation to where he can start breathing the air. And this is a big worry to the Na'vi, because it's like, if humans can learn to breathe our air, then they will absolutely invade this planet. That doesn't really go anywhere. They kind of forget about it after about an hour. And again, our characters don't change. There's not a struggle that they have to overcome outside of like Sully's never give up. That's the cute kid says. So it's like I said, you can follow it, but it just doesn't make sense altogether.
Yeah, like you lose your sense of like whimsy and wonder from the first two movies because you've had so much time to sit and think about what's going on and why these characters are doing what they're doing, and that makes things painful. Like there's just too much to keep up with. Let's talk about performances. I think the standout here is Stephen Lang, probably. I think Quaritch kind of gets the movie a little bit. He's not the main character, but like I think has the most interesting kind of journey. Zoe Saldaña as Neytiri gets another like fat nerf, which sucks. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's really a bummer. Neytiri's a really great character. She's the poster of the first one. You know what I mean? But like, she just kind of ends up being like mom the whole movie. And like, that's a bummer. Jake Sully's a lot of fun, right? Just Sam Worthington's solid. The kids are okay. I still don't get the Sigourney Weaver teenager thing.
Too many kids. It
just kind of, yeah, dude. Like, and then Spider, Jack Champion. Like, I like the character of Spider. I think the person playing him is lacking. I just think Champion cannot hit it in the emotional beats. And it's like, because it's a PG-13 movie, he can't curse a lot. So he has to do this kind of childish, like he has to call people buttholes and stuff. You know what I mean? And he has to say shit instead of saying like real words. And like, it just means the emotion ends up tamped down. And like, I feel like the mocap is great, but some of the performances behind it are just I don't know. They're fine.
I kind of felt the opposite about Jack Champion, where I think his character, is written to be really annoying, and I don't think anyone could have made it really any more charming. Hard to say. Yeah, there's too many kids. Like, do you know the name of the kid who died? His son. It's Payakin, and I'm doing better with the names on this one. I couldn't remember it all from the last movie.
At least one Sully child I cannot name for sure. Like I for sure don't know the name. It's crazy.
There's 4 of them. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver playing like a 14-year-old character takes me out because you can do mocap all you want, but her voice sounds like that of a 70-year-old woman, not a 14-year-old, and that I just hear that disconnect constantly. Like, again, there's so many characters, they don't really get a lot of screen time. She has a subplot of like she's special and she's kind of a immaculate conception virgin birth character.
Yeah, she's like a Christ figure effectively. Yeah, she has this connection to Awa. Yeah,
but is struggling with it. And again, we get these little plot threads, but then doesn't pick up for it for hours. And I think one of my disappointments is like they were clearly setting up some big moments of like this character is struggling with this, and eventually we're going to see them overcome. And when we get to the overcome part, it just wasn't that exciting and thrilling. And like I was waiting to be awed by these like clear setups, and then like the payoff just didn't happen.
Yeah, there's some complex themes explored too. You know, once Spider can breathe real air, Jake Sully realizes, wait a second, if the humans, if the military gets a hold of this kid, they're going to reverse engineer how that happened, and they're going to bring every human from Earth here, and they're going to ruin this world. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's not even the main thing. That's one of like 7 plots, and it's kind of dropped halfway through the movie, and that's really a shame. Like, because I like that. That's its own film. Like, that could be its own thing. Like, Jake Sully, who is formerly human, like now has to decide, like, do all those people deserve to die? How life-giving is Awa really? You know what I mean? Like, are people who look different than us just as valid? Is all life sacred, or only the life here? Like, that stuff's kind of interesting. I don't know if it gets explored enough. Like, Cameron obviously is an environmentalist. There's a lot of water action in here. There's a lot of underwater stuff. The whales are back. Payakan's back. Congratulations, everybody. Everybody rejoice. Payakan's back. Some submarine stuff. Like, he clearly has a lot to say about the environment. Like, these are pro-environmental movies. But I do think that, like, in some of its better moments, Avatar 3 is questioning, how far does that go exactly? You know what I mean? Like, what is it to truly say that life is sacred and that somebody shouldn't be able to breathe the air here? Anyway, I'm getting into semantics. I think it's too long, and I think in Act 2 is where it starts to really get rough. I think that's where you're going to want to check your watch, and you're going to be like, come on, you know, this isn't really working anymore. And that is not the intended effect from James Cameron. He said the second movie was going to have us shitting with our mouths open, and this is not what that is.
Well, and again, the last third starts to really retread common ground, and it has the Star Wars problem. It's like are you ever going to defeat the bad guys? Because it's like this now. This is our third battle fighting the scientists and military. Are we never going to overcome them, or are we just clearly setting up for Avatar 4 and 5? Some of our characters, I thought we were going to maybe have a death of some of the main characters. Everyone has plot armor. I was like, oh, they're clearly want to keep everyone for potential sequels.
Yeah, and the film shifts to Loak's perspective too. It opens with him. He does the narration in the movie, unlike Jake Sully, and I just figured that's such a handoff signal. And also, they haven't shot any of 4 and 5, which means when they do shoot those movies, our characters will be notably older, which I guess they could hide, like they're hiding Sigourney Weaver, but like that just seems really complicated. It just felt like, I don't know, maybe it's all going somewhere. It's all coming to a head. But you're right. It ends up being a lot of the same. Like when you get to the big battle at the end, you start to feel like I've kind of seen this before. It's a whole lot of like you've literally seen the military driving their boats in and their little airships, and the Na'vi come out on their little dragons with their whales and they shoot at them with arrows. You do get some like pieces of other cinema in here, I should say. Like I know that first movie had a lot of inspiration from Star Wars with like the X-Wings, the TIE fighters flying around shooting each other, and that's where a lot of that comes from. But like Fern Gully, right? Obviously, obvious reference. But in here, you get shades of like Spartacus in one scene. You get like a Macbeth scene with Jake Sully and Neytiri being like Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, like debating this like really big decision. There's a suicide prevention warning in the credits of this movie. Oh God. Yeah, like there's a lot of like really big stuff happening. And of course, like I don't want to skip over Quaritch and Oona Chaplin's character, Varang, who are doing something introducing erotica to Avatar in a way that is hilarious and hard not to laugh at. She's kind of got some funny themes. Go ahead.
We're retreading Dances with Wolves. Like that's what the first movie is, where Jake Sully goes native, and now Quaritch is going native as well. I do think again Oona Chaplin is the standout. Varang is a very interesting character. She's like the anti-Na'vi. She's like, forget all this nature BS. Like power is all that matter. Fire is power. Like we don't believe in AOI. AOI was never here for us. And like she kind of tortures people a lot. Like she's a baddie for sure. Very interesting character. And then, like I said, she kind of disappears for a third of the movie, and I was like, that was the most interesting thing going on. Great scene in the middle with her and Quaritch, kind of negotiating, terms of working together.
Where do you think the Avatar franchise is headed after this? What's next? I mean, for people who don't know, like James Cameron has talked a big game about making Avatar 4 and 5 for a long time, but then recently has started to kind of say, hey, maybe I would step away from directing and just produce and let somebody else take those. Do you think that's a good idea? Are they making more of these things?
They're definitely going to make more of these things because it's going to make money. It's going to be a financial success. It is the kind of movie that people who don't really go to movies see, like on the holidays. Oh, let's get the family together and see something new Avatar. It's going to make money, but yeah, I would be excited for Cameron to step away and just do something else. He's talked about making this Ghost of Hiroshima movie about the dropping of the atomic bombs from the Japanese perspective, some other projects. That's really exciting. I was like, that's what we need Cameron doing. And I mean, some people argue it's like, some people say he's wasted 20 years on these movies and we could have had such great things. I don't feel that way, but it would be nice to see him do something else.
It's a very funny, like, clickbait sentiment to be like, the man's washed. He's wasted 2 decades. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think there have been some great advances, actually, in these movies. I do think there's something special and unique. That being said, I don't think this one is maybe as strong as the last 2 entries in ways. There's a lot of ways that's more climactic and more final, and there are bigger character developments that happen in here than in 2, for sure. And I could see that argument. But, like, I just think this is maybe a bit of a low point of the 3 here. And maybe this is a good chance for Cameron to jump into another project. Go shoot something small, man. Like after shooting this, I'm sure he could shoot anything, right? He could go do anything he wanted. So like, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like a fine time for him to dismount from the director's chair and have somebody else take it over, bring in some fresh voices, bring in some fresh perspectives. You got to shoot new footage anyway. You don't have anything to go on. That's just me. But as for Avatar Fire and Ash, any other thoughts for recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Avatar Fire and Ash?
I would say if you're a big fan of these movies, definitely check it out. Check it out on the big screen. It does look incredible, and the performances are pretty good. Unfortunately, it's a little rote. We're in very familiar territory. We do have an interesting standout in Varang, the new fire Navi. If you're on the fence, I would say save it for streaming and watch it in three parts. Save some time, but it's the perfect kind of movie for the holidays. You need something to take the kids, you can watch it with your parents, grandparents, the whole family. And there's nothing too violent or too scary or anything sexual or anything like that. So it is definitely made for general audiences.
Yeah, I think it's a great time, like, for families. You need something to go watch over the Christmas break, like, and get away from your family for 3 hours. Throw this on. Everybody will like it. Everybody will have stuff to talk about when they come out. Get the popcorn. You'll have a great time. If you're going for, like, I don't know, deep themes or like to see the evolution of cinema or something, I don't quite think Avatar Fire and Ash is doing that. But it's fine. It's fun. I think it's more fun than the last Jurassic Park movie. I like it more than the last Transformers movie. Like, big visuals, big spectacle. Get the 3D glasses. You'll have a great time. Also, did you get a headache, Andy? Did that happen to you?
No, it was more that they're just uncomfortable on my ears after a while. Like after 2 hours, it starts to bother my ears.
I was going to ask about glasses fatigue, which sounds like a silly thing, but it's a 3 hour and 15-minute picture. Like, they're going to be on the whole time. It's a long time to be wearing a pair of removable glasses that the theater gives you that you got to return at the end, you know? Yeah. And that's Avatar, Fire and Ash. We're going out of town. I guess I can cut this part out of the full episode. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But you and I are going out of town next week. When we get back, we're covering Marty Supreme, right? Doing top 10 lists.
Right. That's the big Christmas release, Marty Supreme. Some other things that are out. The Housemaid is out tonight, December 19th. Song Sung Blue comes out Christmas Day. Anaconda comes out Christmas Day. And yeah, we'll be looking at top 10 films, top TV shows as well, and maybe some other fun stuff.
I have been planning this trip. We're going to Colorado to see my sister. Real excited. We're leaving next week. And we were talking about stuff to do while we're out there. And I told Christine one night in a say of confidence, really. I was like, hey, maybe after the parents go to bed, me, you, and my sister and her husband-in-law, maybe we can go out and, catch Marty Supreme. And she was like, are you kidding? You want to go see, we're going to be out of town for a week and you want to go sit in a theater? And I'm like, no, but it's, wait, it's different, right? Like it's for people who dream, right? It's for dreamers in their 20s. And it's going to be late at night after mom and dad go to bed. It'll be fine. She was not into it. So I'm going to catch it sometime when I get back, I think. But I don't think I'm going to be watching it Christmas Day like anybody else. Yeah. Are you? When are you going to go see it? You got any plans?
I'll see it the day or the day after, the 25th or the 26th for sure.
I know there's some people who listen to the show who will absolutely catch it on the day for sure. And like, respect. I wish I could. My heart is in the cinema with y'all, I promise. And also with my family because Christmas, but Anyway, yes, that's our review for Avatar Fire and Ash. Yeah, we did it. Aha,
right.
We saw it.
Yeah.
Yes. And now we got to jump right into something a little different. What do we call this segment, Andy?
It's time for the trailer perk. Now, we had attempted to do this before, but we did get some exciting trailers before Avatar Fire and Ash when we saw the first of which was the Avengers, what I'm calling Avengers Doomsday, which featured, we were really excited because we're like, are we going to see Doctor Doom? Are we going to see the X-Men? What are we going to see? And we were so completely underwhelmed with this brief teaser that featured Chris Evans showing up as a young Captain America. We see him on the motorcycle. We see him holding a baby, an infant, and young again. He's old at the end of Endgame. He doesn't say anything. There's no dialogue, and then the screen just says Captain America or Steve Rogers will return, or Captain America will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, it looks
underwhelming. Yeah, most underwhelming piece of trailer I've seen in forever.
It's a Prozac commercial. It looks terrible. Like I saw people putting like prescription medication ads along the front, along the bottom, like a banner just to compare. And yeah, like it matches up great. It's all stock footage until Steve Rogers shows up. They got him for one shot. I'm sure they're going to do more with it. It's a weird one to come out with, man. Like when they announced Doomsday and they kind of pivoted from Kang to this. They announced Robert Downey Jr. was coming back at Comic-Con, and then their first cinematic reveal of this happening in theaters to people in trailers is also Captain America's back too. It's like, damn, y'all really haven't done anything for like half a decade, have you? Like, you really haven't built anything. You just got to go right back to what worked before, and whatever. That's Marvel, and that's where they're at. We talked about it plenty on the show, but we have another trailer, and thankfully, this one's got a little bit more meat. I think for fans, this one's a little bit juicier, right?
Well, yes, they're doing this strange strategy where there's like going to be multiple of these Avengers trailers. The second one that was released this week is a similar short teaser featuring Thor, Chris Hemsworth picking up the mantle of Thor again. He gives this actually kind of moving speech of like, all Father, give me the strength to fight one more time to save my child, in good Chris Evans Norse voice. But again, you're not showing us anything new. And this time last year is when the Superman trailer came out, and everyone lost their minds because it looked so good. It was so exciting. And like, they just have nothing. There's like, I thought we might see Doom for the first time. They might introduce something new, and it's just nothing more. Apparently there's a Cyclops trailer out there that we'll probably see sometime next week. So it's better, but it's a strange strategy. People are talking about it, but I don't know if it's going to work.
Avengers Doomsday is funny, and I'm looking forward to saying it for the next year. I'm not looking forward to seeing Avengers advertising for the next year. That's all it's going to be, I feel like. And then after that, we got a year before the next event, Secret Wars, whatever it's going to be, right? I don't even know. What is coming after Doomsday? Do you remember?
It's supposed to be Secret Wars, yeah.
Secret War. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, it's going to be rough. But you tell you what, your boys here at Script, we're going to stay on top of it for you. So while we have some small teases here, I think couple more to come, right? That was the rumor. There were going to be 4 of these little bits.
Yeah. Like I said, Cyclops is one that I think has been leaked, and I don't know what the 4th one's going to be. Maybe they'll finally show Doctor Doom. But it's so it's like the anti-hype because they're trickling it out. People will see like ugly leaks first, and it's not like our next trailer, which was we got to see a preview of this and the trailer for the Odyssey. Zach, tell us about that.
Yeah, the Odyssey trailer is different than what we saw in front of Avatar. What we saw in front of Avatar was a short scene, essentially like an amended scene of like the Trojan horse siege, with Matt Damon and friends all hiding in a horse, and then they get pulled in the city, and then they hop out at night, and they go to work, and then they break down this door, and a bunch of soldiers come in. This is more of a montage. It's more traditional trailer, and we get a lot of quick stuff, and a lot of which I'm not really sure what exactly is going on. But it's the story of the Odyssey, right? Matt Damon is Odysseus. We got a little bit of Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, I think, is in there for a second. Benny Safdie playing Agamemnon in this big, brutal armor that people just keep riffing on in comments, dude. It doesn't look realistic. Stop. It's a movie. I know. It's not. It's fine. But yeah, like we get these quick shots of what look like, I don't know, like boats going over the water, right? Like sieges on cities. We get like what looks like stepping into like the underworld. I think there's a shot of a Cyclops in here. Like there's definitely some goofy stuff, and it's Nolan stepping out in a way that he doesn't normally do. And while it sounds weird on paper, like it just looks cool. Like it feels like something that's gonna make big bank.
Yeah, it looks so good. It was the one thing that got me really hyped when it came up in Avatar Fire and Ash, because we get to see kind of an opening scene of them in the Trojan horse and laying siege, sneaking into Troy and laying siege to the city. That was really cool. And in the trailer again, we see Matt Damon in armor. We see Agamemnon in what looks like Greek Batman. He looks so cool. Lots of stuff on boats. Like the boat stuff looks amazing. Like reminds me of like Ben-Hur, like the way Hollywood used to spend on these like sword and sandal epics. It looks really good, and I can't wait for for us to see more. And that's out in the summer, so that's coming sooner. So really excited about that.
Thank God. I added one more to the outline just because I want to talk about it because we'd missed it. What can you tell us about this title announcement for Digger?
So this is the next film from Alejandro Iñárritu, who previously did The Revenant and Birdman. And this is Tom Cruise's next feature. And we don't really know much about it. We know it has to do with oil and that it's a comedy of catastrophic proportions, as it says on the poster. And it just shows a man kind of dancing around with a shovel. And it's like a 45-second teaser. It's very, very short. It's just the title announcement. And we don't know much about it, but Iñárritu's a big time director, and Chris is going to be Cruise's first movie away from the Mission Impossible franchise. We don't know if is it an action movie? Is it dramatic? We don't really know what he's going to be doing, but it's exciting. It's going to be coming out in October, so we're a long ways off from it, but it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. Looking at like the IMDb summary, it seems something like a man who I don't know, a man who is absolutely loaded, just super wealthy, has the ability to save the world or something and has to figure it out. But what we see of Cruise is what appears to be like silhouette of like a balding man in a bathrobe, a little bit like Dude, a little bit less Grossman, honestly, like an old Tom Cruise character from Tropic Thunder. And it's nice to see him stepping into comedy again. Like you said, it's a big step out for him, which is good and bold. I think he's got a ton of talent. It's nice to see him stretching out in genres again. Good for him. He's not just going to do like the Liam. I was going to say he's not going to do the Liam Neeson like retire into action, but Liam Neeson did Naked Gun, which was a big hit this year. So that's not even accurate. But yeah, no, I'm glad he's stepping out. We don't know a lot about it. Digger, keep an eye out from the guy who did Birdman and The Revenant. I think we got to move on to top 10s, right? It's time.
That's right. It's time for our top 10 lists of the year. Exciting time. Before we want to get into it, I want to say a little bit about these kinds of lists. These lists are fun to do. People take it too seriously, way too much. They're like, well, what's the objective top 10 film? And it's like, there is no such thing as objectivity when we're making lists. They change depending on your age, particularly gender, life experience, so much. But just to remind people, these are our favorite lists, our favorite films of the year that mean a lot to us. So feel free to disagree, but again, we're not trying to say that these are the best films of the year. So I'll start off with my top 10. We have a lot. We've added slowly more and more categories when we do these. So my number 10 is Black Bag, which is the Steven Soderbergh spy thriller with that starred Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, among more. And again, it's kind of a spy versus spy. Everyone's spying on each other, but also that there's complicated interpersonal relationships. Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender their characters are married and they're both spies and they can't really trust each other, but then he's like a wife guy and will do anything for her. And it's 90 minutes and it just cooks the whole time. Soderbergh did 3 films this year, and this was the second one. It's just really tight 90.
My number 10 was The Naked Gun, which is funny opposite Black Bag because it's not quite a spy thriller, but it's kind of in the loose shape of something like that. It's a comedy, right? Like madcap, slapdash, goofball, reboot comedy from Akiva Schaffer, one of the Lonely Island guys. Man, I had a ton of fun in this movie. Like I don't recall laughing a whole lot at the theaters this year, and this was one that genuinely got a few out of me. It reminded me of putting like Jackass Forever on my top 10 just a couple years ago. Like, seems silly, but like there's something to it. Like, I had a great time with it. Liam Neeson, Pam Anderson's in it. Paul Walter Hauser's in it. Goofy, fun. I don't know where it's streaming right now, but yeah, I thought I'd slip that in way late in the bottom. Black Bag did not make my top 10, but it did make honorable mentions for sure.
Naked Gun was a really fun time, and I remember thinking Pamela Anderson is so funny in that, and like you kind of don't expect it because you think she's just going to do the blonde bombshell bit, which she does, but there's a lot. She gets a lot of the good jokes. It's this bit where she's like doing jazz stuff, singing jazz, and it's. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh my god, this is like kind of incredible. Yeah. Moving on, my number 9 is The Phoenician Scheme. The Wes Anderson film, which starred Mia Thrapleton and Benicio del Toro as a father-daughter duo trying to repair their relationship while he's trying to run all these schemes and to get money for this big project. Lots going on, very busy movie, but this was the first Wes Anderson film that I've liked in a long time. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, also the first on our list here that has crossover. You'll see that a little later in my list. My number 9 was 28 Years Later. I did not think I was going to think this movie was cool, dude. Like, I really didn't. It'd been so long since 28 Days Later had come out. 28 Weeks Later wasn't done by Danny Boyle way back when. And then there's this huge gap of time and then 28 years. And Andy and I were reading the news over the year and it was like, this is going to be a trilogy and Sony only made the first 2 and Nia DaCosta's. Like, it just seemed like none none of this was going to work. And this movie ends up being an absolute blast right out of the gate. It's scary. It's fun. It's got really cool action and like big colors and this super cool bullet time thing that I was really into. And I know people have seen it since that either like don't even recall it or they're like, oh no, I thought that was lame. And I was like, nope, that was like magic to me, dog. Ooh, like a cinematic technique I have not seen in a theater before. Thank God. 28 Years Later is a ton of fun. Ray Fiennes, Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I can't remember the name of the kid, but I know 28.
Oh no, I can't.
I know. And I know, here's the thing, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the sequel, is coming out mid-January. Thank God. I was looking at the January releases, and it looks like it's going to be rough, and that one's going to be a bright spot in January, so I'm looking forward to reviewing that in just a couple of weeks.
Alfie Williams is the place Spike. 28 Years Later is higher up on my list. I'll let you know in a second. But yeah, absolutely love the movie. It's an emotional journey. Strangely, it's while it's a zombie movie, it's a coming of age movie of our young protagonist Spike, which is interesting because it looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson was maybe the protagonist, or Jodie Comer, or kind of traditional zombie stuff, and it's not really their story, and it's a different kind of story altogether. It's about a boy growing up, learning that the adults in his life haven't been truthful about a number of things, and that's really the growing up part. That adults are kind of full of it in a lot of ways, but emotionally really moving feature. And I can't wait for The Bone Temple, which comes out soon. We're gonna take forever on this. Number 7.
No, we're moving through. We're moving through. We're doing okay. No.
Number 7 for me is Eddington, which was the latest Ari Aster feature about the fictional town of Eddington, New Mexico, a COVID-era Western, which pits the mayor, played by Pedro Pascal, against the sheriff, played by Joaquin Phoenix, covering all manner of topics that happened around that time: masks, COVID, civil unrest, riots, guns, political stuff, you name it, it's in there. Movie's incredibly uncomfortable, also but hilarious, and really about how it's very impossible for opposing sides to kind of talk to each other in this day and age. It's very prescient and continues to be since then.
Yeah, Eddington's higher up on my list as well. That's the thing. We're going to start running into repeats here in a minute before you know what this segment's going to be over. So hold fast, all right? And shout out to my brother-in-law who got me Eddington on Blu-ray for the holiday. It's real shit, man. I appreciate it. Number 8 for me was The Phoenician Scheme, which Andy covered already. That was his number 9. So I'm going to jump up to my number 7, Begonia. Man, it's so funny. Andy just rewatches yesterday, so I feel like I'm probably not the one to talk about it, but he can weigh in when he gets to it. Begonia is New Yorgos Lanthimos' film, starring Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. Jesse Plemons is an employee at a company who believes that the CEO of his company is an alien, and he kidnaps her to try to prove it. And she's like, "You're crazy," and he's like, "No, you're crazy." It is a great boiler pot thriller. It's small, it's intimate, it goes places even with a premise like that, you still would not expect. It is a great time. It is a ton of fun. Andy, what's your number 7?
Begonia, what I was going to say, was my number 6. Yeah, really funny on second, strangely funny and still really good on second watch. My number 7 is Sentimental Value, which was the latest Joachim Trier Norwegian family drama, which also starred Renate Reinsve, Inga. I can't remember her.
Oh, dude,
her
you're
name.
hitting the big names. I don't.
Yeah. I said Elle Fanning.
She plays Agnes. She's great. Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Elle Fanning, Stellan Skarsgård. Yes. It's a family drama. Stellan Skarsgård plays the patriarch of the family, who's been a successful film director, but has been estranged from his daughters. Comes back into their lives, wants to do a project with them. They're not really interested. They fight about it. They fight about the house. It's about the healing power of art, that it's kind of the way they can communicate together. Some real funny stuff. This is the movie that Jay Kelly is trying to be.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a great read. Let's see, your sentimental. My number 6, I guess, is Weapons. I was a little surprised Weapons didn't make your list, but I think you put in honorable mentions. Maybe you didn't, but Weapons is the new film from Barbarian director Zach Kreger. This is a straight horror with a little bit of comedy dashed in, starring Boy, this is where the names
Julia
start to
Garner.
sneak up on me. Julia Garner, as a teacher in a small town, when 17 kids in a classroom mysteriously go missing, this teacher is left to blame and left to answer questions about where they went and why they all went running out of their homes at 2:13 in the morning. 2:17 in the morning? Weapons is a strange sort of feature. It goes places you don't expect. And man, I just had a great time watching it. And I rewatched it not long ago because we were putting these lists together and I want to see if it kind of had a spot. And it's one of those movies that, isn't for everybody, but just, I don't know. It gets you good. In fact, it's a lot like one of Andy's picks coming up here that also didn't make my list. Same kind of thing. So yeah, loved Weapons.
Weapons was on my honorable mentions. It is really good filmmaking, and you could never really guess where the film is going. It has a little bit of that Rashomon, Pulp Fiction feel, where it's told anachronistically from different points of view. It's about a lot of different things. No one could really pinpoint what it was at, and even Zach Kreger is like, it could be about a lot of things. You could kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting movie. And it was one of the few original and successful films of the year. Really looking forward to his Resident Evil. Getting toward number 5. My number 5, Superman. What the superhero film is slowly kind of dying in Hollywood, and Superman was kind of a jolt to that. We got what is probably the more, I hate to use the phrase, comic book accurate version of Superman as a very kind of Boy Scoutish, but an inspiring figure. And we're dropped into an existing world. We're not doing origin story. We're not doing like Death of Krypton and like landing in Kansas. We know all that. We're moving on. There's lots of, we get Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Just a fun adventure, highly rewatchable, good music drops. Like James Gunn is off to a good start in the DCU.
My number 5 is Eddington, so I'll jump to my number 4, which was also Superman. Perfect time to talk about it. Yeah, Superman is like Saturday morning cartoon, and that was one that I was really skeptical about. Superman is very difficult to adapt. A lot of people have said that this may be the best Superman film since the original Richard Donner Superman, which is huge praise for James Gunn. They're big shoes to fill, man. Like a very big shoes to fill. I don't know how you jump over from Marvel to DC. You take on the whole thing. You roll out another season of Peacemaker, and then you say, okay, we're doing Superman. It's happening. Somehow he managed to stick the landing. I know people that saw this and just thought it was okay. I know people that saw this and liked Fantastic Four more. Not me. But Superman manages to be some kind of postmodern, but also original. It feels old, but also new. It's fresh. And man, the casting is just so killer. Corn Sweat is Soups, rocks. Rachel Brosnahan rocked. Nicholas Hoult, divine. Can't wait to see the sequel.
My number 4 is Hamnet, which we just saw a couple of weeks ago. Of course, this is the movie starring Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal, directed by Chloe Zhao. It's about the writing of Hamlet. Well, it's really about their relationship. It's Jesse Buckley's character, Agnes. It's her story, and William Shakespeare is kind of playing second fiddle to her. But it's about the death of one of their children and how that affects their relationship, inspires him to mourn through the writing of the play Hamlet. And again, it's about healing through the arts. Some very, very powerful scenes. Tough subject matter. A lot of films this year about the toughness of motherhood, for sure.
Number 3 for me, Marty Supreme. I know we're about to talk about it here in a second, so I don't want to give too much away, but you may have heard from critics around the internet that it might be one of the most exciting films of the year. We'll talk about it more. For me, I liked it a lot. I honestly thought it was a 2. I really did. About halfway through Marty Supreme, I'm like, I think this is my second favorite film of the year, because number 1 was a lock shortly after I saw that film and rewatched it. But I went back and rewatched number 2 just the other day, just a couple days ago. I was like, you know what? Let me see. Before Marty Supreme takes prime pole position here in the race, let me go revisit some favorites. And I'm very satisfied with the list this year. I like where I'm at. Number 3 is Marty. We'll talk about it more in a second. What's your number 3, Andy?
28 years later, which we've already talked about. And now we get into the exciting part. My number 2 is One Battle After Another. Of course, this was Paul Thomas Anderson's big film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, newcomer Chase Infinity, about an aging revolutionary kind of thrust back into the life. Number of things going on. It's masterful filmmaking, 2.5 hours, never slows down a bit, just keeps the gas on. Incredible performances all around. There's talk that it's going to sweep the Oscars. I'm confident that's probably true. Incredible film.
Yeah, incredible Sean Penn in that movie. I don't even like Sean Penn a lot, but good God, Colonel Stephen J. Captain Stephen J. Lockjaw is the absolute worst. This is where we're trading barbs. This is when Andy and I are really going at it here, critic for critic. Yeah, my number 2 is Sinners. Man, Ryan Coogler put out Sinners following Black Panther 2. I think this movie is so cool, and we saw it in like February, right? We went and saw an IMAX 70 here in town, which was crazy, and it was a great show. And then I had kind of revisited in October. I like fell asleep watching on the couch one night, and just a couple days ago I went and rewatched it again. It was like, God, this movie's gas all the way through. It's so cool. They don't even get to like the real premise of that movie till an hour into it, which is nuts. I clocked it. Like, we don't actually get to like the juke joint is playing music and Remick is showing up at the door and asking to come in and playing goofy Irish jig. An hour, like that first hour is just like setup and thoughtful and exposition, and it's digging into like the pain of these people and where they're headed. I know I'd be talking more about premise, but I feel like if you're listening to this at this point, you probably know what Sinners is. So Andy, please, what is your number 1 favorite film of the year?
My number 1 was Sinners. So this is where we trade our 1s and 2. Yeah, I thought Sinners was incredible the first time I saw it. It's amazing. The first act, the vampires don't show up till pretty late in the film, and you don't even care because there's so much drama just in that first act, setting up the relationships between these people that have known each other and have gone away and come back, and the pain that they all live under in Jim Crow South. And it's not about overthrowing these systems of oppression. It's about surviving them through our arts and culture. And it has one of my favorite scenes of the year, which is the piercing the veil of past and present in the middle, where the big IMAX scene brought me to tears in the middle of the movie. Just incredible stuff. That's my number 1. And your number 1 is?
One battle after another. You're number 2. Yeah, no, I was super into this movie. I was just super into it when it came out. It's funny and engaging. I'm a big sucker for like the Coen brothers, the Big Lebowski, and the inspiration of this kind of dude character in the middle of this like postmodern revolution era where like the French 75 has had their day, like trying to attack political institutions. Now these people are on the run and hiding. We jump 16 years forward, and Leonardo DiCaprio is playing this like absolute bum ghetto Pat, like who cannot keep his life together and is too stoned to remember the stupid code words, who's trying to save his daughter, who is like away and maybe taken by this guy who's out to get her for these reasons that are multifaceted. You got the Christmas adventures. You got this insane car chase at the end. You got a great soundtrack. Benicio del Toro's doing goofy stuff in it. Like, it is the kind of script that I just feel like Sinners, just so only ever comes along once a decade or something. Like, from a writer director who is just so locked in. And these 2 movies, man, like, there's a reason we're trading them. Like, they're just so good. And like, and I don't know, that they're excellent. 2025 has been an incredible year at the movies. Like, I'm so glad we got to cover them. There are a few features we didn't cover that I did want to mention, and then we got to get on honorable mentions. Films we did not watch this year, just off the top of my top dome. It was just an accident. The Secret Agent, No Other Choice, and Testament of Van Lee. For anybody out there, it's like, how did you not cover Park Chan-wook? We just didn't see it. You know what I mean? Hopefully in January and February,
it hasn't been
we can
released.
get to seeing these things.
We
we just can't. Like, it came out in 2 cities, which is California and New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. We are limited by the technology of our time. But let's get into honorable mentions. A surprisingly long list for both of us, but I think it was just, a big year.
Right. We'll go through these quickly. Presence, which was the Steven Soderbergh ghost story from the point of view of the ghost, some interesting camera work, experimental film released about this time last year. Sing Sing, which was actually 2024 release, but we didn't get to see it until 2025. Materialist, which was Celine Song's follow-up to Past Lives, which came out over the summer. The rom-com successful film. Ballad of a Small Player, which was the Colin Farrell, Edward Berger film about a gambler in Macau. Great score by Volker Bertelmann. That movie not recognized enough because it was straight to Netflix. Weapons, which I've mentioned. Warfare, which was the Alex Garland A24 war film. Generally not a fan of war films, but this was a very kind of experiential thing about a small group of soldiers who are ambushed, and they try to very accurately recreate this, like you feel like you're in a war zone. Kind of incredible stuff. And then Marty Supreme is also on my honorable mentions.
Honorables for me include Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, Materialist, which I'm excited to say was definitely our highest performing video of the year on the channel.
Still getting comments.
Dude,
this week.
Crazy engagement. If I could figure out a way, if we could cook up whatever cosmic like magic we pulled together to make the Materialist video pop and do that all the time, my God, this channel we'd be doing
retired
this full time. Oh my God. But yeah, shout out to anybody that checked out the Materialist review. Go dip into the comments. You can find somebody to fight with. I promise. People are very, very cross about that movie. It's awesome. Would recommend. Black Bag, Ballad of a Small Player, The Monkey, which the longer I look at that, the more I want to pull it off. But dude, I really laughed
I pulled it off.
I know. I really laughed at we got to make like eggs and scramble. You know what I mean? I rewatched it in October. It's weird and it's not very good. But you know what? It's an honorable mentions list. I think it's okay to say it. It's fine. I really did like Warfare. I kind of forgot about that movie. Nickel Boys from 2024, which we watched this year. That movie was really cool. Train Dreams on Netflix. Covered that just a few weeks ago. And Sentimental Value was also a winner for me. Worst of the year. You got 3 of these.
Well, I wanted to say real quick about Train Dreams. I liked about the first. People are going crazy for that movie, and there's lots of Oscar talk. I liked the first half of that movie, and then I wasn't as warm on the second half.
I think in the way that like you pull it, Hamnet kind of pulled you in emotionally, and it ended up making your top 10. Like Train Dreams kind of caught me that way, and it didn't make my top. But yeah, I don't know. In the same way, I was just like, I genuinely felt moved by that movie, and I can't really explain why. It was like a 29-day shoot. Oh my God, they had no budget. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, worst of the year.
The Electric State, which was the Millie Bobby Brown headed sci-fi thing, apparently like a $300 million movie. It's so boring. It looks terrible. It's Netflix slop. I think it kind of takes place in the 80s. It's inspired by a graphic novel kind of coffee table book, which I bought and intend to read. But oh man, it's just so bad. And when you think of how many films could have been made for $300 million.
Yeah, my worst of the year is Electric State as well. I struggle to think of anything that I had a tougher time getting through. It's just miserable. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt are like on green screen sets wearing the worst wigs you've ever seen in a movie ever. And it's just like full of advertising and it's chunky. And then you go look at the source material and you're like, oh, this, like what it came from was like thoughtful and interesting and nuanced, but of course they gave it to the directors of The Gray Man on Netflix, and it comes out a fat bomb. Hilariously, these are also the directors of Avengers, Infinity War, and Doomsday, and Endgame. So Joe and Anthony Russo are back at it. You know what I mean? Give them a big budget and a bunch of stars, and of course they can turn out a hit. Who couldn't, right? It's like a completion assignment. Anyway, yeah, Electric State was awful. I really struggled with it. It was bad.
I also have Happy Gilmore 2, which I thought was a sequel way too long in the making. Not funny. It's only 90 minutes, and I was like struggling. No, actually, I think it's a full 2 hours. I was struggling to get through it. Painfully unfunny, in my opinion.
Happy Gilmore is my favorite of those old stoner boner comedies that Adam Sandler used to do. So I have a particular soft spot in my one heart for that. Like that's that. But I get why everybody else is like, come on, it's rough. And then this other one's, it's almost mean. Come on, what do you mean?
I have Ella McKay that we just reviewed at our last show. This movie's kind of a disaster. It's some relic from like 30 years ago. And I heard on a different show, it's not so much that it's bad as much as it's a disaster. It's just like the plots don't make sense. Our relationships with our characters don't make sense. Like it's all just so outdated. All of it doesn't make much sense. And apparently James L. Brooks, he made a deal that he was like, well, let me do Ella McKay and there's another project that he's looking for.
The Simpsons 2. Yeah.
That's what it was. Disappointments.
Yeah. Disappointments. Highest to lowest. The new Spike Lee film starring Denzel Washington.
Oh man,
we covered this on the channel. I'm gonna be on the first probably 25 minutes. I was with highest to lowest. Like Spike's making weird decisions, but he's an auteur. That's the way he's gonna do it. And then as soon as the kidnapping plot kicks off, it is the most soap opera melodramatic junk I have seen in a theater. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, he's slipping. And then when I came out of the theater and read the reviews, people were like, Spike has a, he has the way he does move. I'm like, okay, all right, sure. Like I don't know what I expected for highest to lowest, but I was disappointed, and that's why it's going on there. I was sorely disappointed. I remember coming out of it and being like, talking to Andy, like, dude, was that as bad for you as it was for me? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
rough.
Got
rough on
got
highest to
20
lowest.
minutes into it, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Exactly. It's
no.
like, oh boy. I mean, it comes and goes. There's some sequences in there that really work cool, and there's other stuff that's just like horribly chunky. Like y'all couldn't have got reshoots on this. Like, but who's gonna tell Spike Lee no? So, personal. I don't know if anybody's gonna listen far enough into this to tell me I'm wrong, but if you do, feel free to hit me in the comments. I guess. Yeah, highest to lowest for me.
I also have Bring Her Back on here, which a lot of people do like. There's just a little bit too much child abuse in that movie, and I was like just kind of sick by it. Also, we both have this one on our list: A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which was the Colin Farrell, Margot Robbie rom-com, surrealist kind of Life of Walter Mitty thing. Just not good. Really long, boring. And again, it's a look back at their lives, and they go back in time, and it was just really underwhelming. And it looked bad from the trailer, and it absolutely was.
I was hopeful. It's directed by Hikari, who's a prominent Japanese director. It's got Colin Farrell, and I haven't seen Margot Robbie in a movie since Asteroid City, right? Before that, Barbie. Like, she's been very quiet. She's been like raising a kid, I think. Like, so I was just like, you know what? I love Farrell. I know he's doing Ballad of a Small Player. I love Margot Robbie. This director's exciting. I just figured between those three, I was watching the trailers, but I was like, maybe it's just a bad trailer. Maybe it's just something, like, maybe there'll be some magic. It's a Big, Bold, and it just wasn't. And it's a bummer. And yeah, it's a disappointment. Mine too is also a Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Do you want to jump into TV? You want to review top 5 of the decade? Where you at?
Let's jump into TV. I kind of just have the top 5 of the decade list just going constantly, so don't forget. So we're gonna roll over to TV. I have a top 10. We're mostly gonna discuss our top 5s. I
should explain myself. I have not watched a lot of TV this year. If you've been listening to the show throughout the year, you know that I'm woefully behind on television. I try to keep up with Andy best I can. I don't know when he finds the time. Like, I watch a lot of movies, I play a lot of games. I cannot keep up with the television. So he's got a top 10. I'll hit you with my top 5 at the end. All right. He's the varsity. I'm the B squad back here. So let's get out of the way and let him do his thing.
All right. So my number 10 is Alien Earth, which was the Alien prequel show starring Noah Hawley. Some high highs, some low lows, and some incredible episodes asking some interesting questions. They introduced these hybrids, which are human consciousness in machine and android bodies. So they start to ask some of these interesting questions about existence and things like that. But then you have some real kind of subpar episodes too. Zach, thoughts?
Yeah, no, same. I actually had Alien at my number 5. And let me tell you, like, we did a couple videos about Alien. The first few episodes, Andy and I were locked in. We were like, this is incredible. The first one's a great start. Second one's okay. Third one's pretty good. I think episode 4 does like the flashback on the ship of how it all happened. Yeah. That's rock solid all the way. Like, we were just like, this is good. And then just slowly, as the episodes kept coming, it just gives you less and less. And before you know it, you're like, oh no, this is not sticking the landing. And by the time it gets to the end, it like fumbles it. It's really a shame. A real strong out the gate. It's got a season 2 coming. I hope it's good.
My number 9 is I Love LA, which is the comedy project written and directed by Rachel Sennett. I started real cold on this show. It's kind of about her, and it's about being in LA and kind of trying to make it as like an influencer. She plays a talent management. Her friend Tallulah, played by Odessa A'zion, we're about to talk about in Marty Supreme, kind of crashes into her life. She's kind of an insane character, but it's about experience working in entertainment, working alongside famous people, but not being famous yourself. I started a little cold on the first 2 episodes. It got really funny after that. My number 8 is The Last of Us season 2. Sorry, 10, 9, yes, 8. Crushing. We're gonna have to wait forever for the season 3. Peacemaker season 2 is my number 6, 7.
7.
I'm
You
so
got it.
bad at this.
You're doing good. It's fine.
7. This came out very soon after Superman, and you could tell it was made right alongside it because there's a lot of tie-ins. So again, some high highs, some mediocre lows. A lot of people disappointed in the finale, but great opening sequence that features a new tune by Foxy Shazam. It, it it had, like I said, it's okay. It was, people were hoping for more because they really built up the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, Peacemaker season 2 is my number 4 on my little top 5 of the year here. Yeah, again, just like Alien Earth, like strong start and then just starts to run out of gas towards the end. Like I really felt like the final episode of the season was going to be something really big, and it turns out the penultimate episode's really big. And then the actual final one's a bit smaller and humbler, and I think people were really disappointed by that. I'm looking forward to season 3. I don't think they have any plans to shoot it right now. I don't know when they're going to do it, but it seems like it would happen at some point. Cena's still awesome as Peacemaker. I don't know who the hell else would play him. So looking forward to more from Gunn and team on Peacemaker.
My number 6 is Welcome to Derry season 1. This was a lot of fun if you're a fan of the It movies. This takes place 27 years before that film, It Part 1 in 1963. We meet a new cast of young characters. They're trying to survive the entity It. And there's a military plot going on where they're trying to find and control this stuff. It has some kind of poor sequences with bad CGI, but the good stuff is really good. We got to see Bill Skarsgård take up the mantle as Pennywise again. Some really great stuff with him. Some creepy stuff if you're a fan of horror. And now we get into our top 5. The Chair Company, which is Tim Robinson's comedy about a man who works in an office, but is sure that there's a conspiracy against him, featuring these office chairs where he has fallen out of one. Like he sat in a chair and it broke, it shattered in a big presentation, and he was made to look like a fool. And he hyperfixates on, well, who's responsible for this? Who makes these chairs? And the more he digs, the more he uncovers about this vast conspiracy in his community, alongside drama with his family and at the office.
Chair Company was my number 3 of the year. I think this show is so unique and like kind of absurdist. At one point we called it Lynchian, which I think is probably appropriate. Like it is just full of the oddest actors who would not fit in any other project, but they kind of work perfectly in here. People with very strange delivery and very odd reactions who just kind of fit in this little world of like absurd people where everybody has the most odd problems, but everything still kind of operates normally, right? Like as soon as Tim Robinson starts to tug on any thread in any direction, whether it's like his odd coworker who keeps looking at him funny, or that funny chair company, like from the chair that he fell out of that he's just upset about, like he just keeps finding more and more odd stuff, and it just makes this, like, I don't know, seedbed for comedy that is just so goofy and off the wall. I've never seen anything quite like it. I would probably compare it to something like a Nathan Fielder project, right? Like just like weird and off the wall. Yeah, Chair Company's awesome. I can't believe it's getting a season 2. I really thought it was kind of just going to wrap and they were going to be like, we'll see you, we'll do something else with you. But like, no, they're coming back. So huge for HBO. I think it was their biggest comedy series ever when it came out. Like huge deal.
Well, and what's great is, while it's like you'll meet characters and then they'll just go off on these bizarre tangents, really strange. But then it's also like a Nathan Fielder project. It's saying some things about just interesting different topics. I mean, there's a lot about masculinity in here. There's a part where Tim Robinson's boss, he gets pushed at some point, and they're like, "Oh, do we need to fire Tim Robinson's character or not?" And they're like, "Well, he could have killed you." He's like, he really could have hurt you. And the boss is like, well, let's not get carried away. And so he basically doesn't get fired because the boss is too afraid of looking weak. When like any HR person would have been like, no, you fire this clown. And there's just so much of that kind of stuff. Like there's societal commentary going on amongst all the craziness. My number 4 was Pluribus, which just wrapped up. This is the Vince Gilligan show starring Ray Seahorn, sci-fi show about an alien hive mind that kind of affects all of humanity except for 12 people. And Ray Seahorn's character, Carol Sturka, is going to save the world, and she's really difficult to get along with, a really abrasive kind of character, struggles with substance abuse, has a lot to say about technology and connection in our time. Really great show on Apple.
Yeah, Andy and I are trading barbs here again. Pluribus is actually my favorite show of the year, and we'll leave my number 2 for just a moment here. But Pluribus is really cool. It is not for everybody. I just like every episode that comes out, more and more people are like, "This show's so slow, nothing happens. Oh my god!" And for everybody who says that, I want to be like, "Go back and rewatch Breaking Bad." But watch Better Call Saul. I never even finished Better Call Saul because it's so agonizingly slow. This is just how that guy makes shows, dude. Like, I don't think that's out of the way at all. It is a bit quieter because the entity or the hive mind or whatever don't speak, but I love that their noises are like the whirring of machines and like the plucking and tacking of work. They're all just hard at work all the time. They don't need to speak. We are just working. We are worker bees. That is what we are doing, right? And meanwhile, Carol Sturka is like desperate for some kind of connection in a world where she just cannot connect with anybody. I think Pluribus is really cool. I probably shouldn't have put it at my top if I haven't actually finished it yet. I haven't finished the final episode. I need to sit down and watch it, but I'll get down to it. Fortunately, nobody spoiled it for me. I did see some thumbnails online, but I don't think it's anything that I was surprised by. I was like, yeah, I figured that was probably going to happen. So, also, I hear it's going to be like 3 years or something before season 2. Apparently, they haven't even written it. I'm like, great, probably. Sick, cool. I'm glad I like a show that I have to wait forever for. Thanks, Vince Gilligan. That's the slowest thing about it.
My number 3 and your number 2 is Adolescence, which was the Stephen Graham project about a young boy accused of killing a young girl in this British community. And the thing about it, the story is told in real time, and it starts with this young boy being arrested at his home at like 7 a.m. Like SWAT team goes in, everyone is scared, terrified. They arrest the child. They were taken to the station, and it's an hour of real time things. You follow different characters. There's the family. There's the police. There's the boy himself. 4 different episodes from different areas of the community, kind of about male rage of varying generations, and really an incredible show. I think Stephen Graham won an Emmy for it. It won Best Limited Series, and also for the young, I can't remember that young boy either, who plays the star, just Owen Cooper.
Yeah,
just really incredible stuff.
Yeah, I kind of can't believe how good Adolescence is. I remember watching it. I mean, knowing it's all a oneer is nuts. I know the studio does that, which we'll talk about in just a second. But like, knowing it's all a oneer is nuts. But I remember like, I think the second episode at the end of like walking around this school with all these kids, all these extras that you have to figure out how to coordinate and get the lighting right so that when your camera transitions from outside to inside, it looks perfect and keep your characters on. And you got to have everybody mic'd up and make it all work. At the end of all that, it seamlessly transitions into a drone shot, flies over a chunk of the city and comes back down and lands in a parking lot with Stephen Graham. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, how do you even do that? Like, crazy. Not only is this a show that explores like very complex and deep themes, I was baffled by how it was made. And like, that is a kind of magic that you just don't get anywhere. Like, really incredible. It'd probably be higher if it wasn't just 3 episodes. Like, it's so short. You know what I mean? Like, I wish it was a bit long. 4 episodes? I think it's 3.
4 episodes.
4. It's a quick burn, man. Adolescence is wild. I would say it's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. It's a real meat and potatoes kind of show. So, ye be warned, and please go enjoy it. It's on Netflix.
My number 2 is Invincible, season 3. Invincible, if you're not familiar, is a kind of subversive superhero show. Stars Stephen Yeun as Mark Grayson. He's the son of a very, very powerful superhero named Omni-Man, a Superman-esque character, and he's fighting against them basically, and it deals with it's one of those things where it's making fun of the superhero genre but also being a very good superhero show because of that. Incredible season finale where he goes up against an enemy called Conquest, and there's like a half-hour fight scene. It's amazing. Definitely for the superhero fans out there.
Yeah, I need to keep up with Invincible. I've fallen off with Invincible and The Boys, which I know we're going to talk about in a minute. It's terrible.
Season 4 coming soon of Invincible. And my number 1 is The Rehearsal, season 2, which is Nathan Fielder's project. Did you watch this or no? I can't remember if you did.
I watched through episode 3, which was like the big one. You were like, you got to watch this episode of television. And it was great. And I just fell off. I probably need to pick it back up.
So this series, Nathan Fielder reenacts real life moments to kind of help people overcome it. In the first season, it was like people going on dates or having confrontations, but he like, it's so meta. Like he'll reenact himself meeting someone, and he'll like completely recreate someone's apartment or where they live or where they work to try to just make these things comfortable, and it becomes very surrealist. And in this show, it was more linear, where they were taking on the idea of pilot communication. Like a lot of plane crashes are apparently caused by bad communication between the two pilots in the cockpit, and he sought to improve this. And the show gets so bizarre at some point. He brings up Sully. I can't remember his last name. Captain Sully, who
Sully Sullenberger, yeah.
Thank you. Who save those people. But again, it's a show that's absurd, but it's saying a lot about society and how we interact, and it's incredible. It's incredible TV, and it really blew my mind of what, an artist pushing things to the extreme.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know how you find the time. Like my top 5 shows are the 5 shows that I watched this year. These are the ones I could keep up with, and I technically didn't even finish Pluribus, which is crazy. Man, well done. What honorable mentions, disappointments? Where you at?
So I put Fallout season 2, but this just started. We're just on season 3. Released yesterday, or sorry, episode 3 just released yesterday. I'm probably going to wait and put this on my 2026 list. 5 more episodes to go. It's starting a little slow. I'm hoping it's going to pick up. I was a little bit disappointed in The Studio, which a lot of people have raved about. That's the Seth Rogen comedy about, basically being a film executive and the absurdity of it. But we just kind of know about all that stuff because we do this show. So it wasn't really anything enlightening to me. I watched a couple of episodes and thought it was fine, but didn't continue.
Yeah, I need to maybe revisit it. I think I just cut my Apple subscription off, but at some point I might check out The Studio again. I know it won a bunch of Emmys. I've seen memes about it. I'm kind of single-handedly saving cinema. Like I'm sure it's a good time, but I haven't spent enough time with it. You want to hit top of the decade, or should we talk about the best fight scenes of the decade of the century?
I'm gonna go through this very, very quickly because this is a work in progress, but I'm slowly putting together my top TV of the decade. Which has already changed. But from 5 to 1, The Boys, which has one more season left, I think comes out this summer. That might change because that show's just kind of taking a little bit too long to rack up.
They could stick the landing though. It might move up for all you know. I mean, it could.
That's true.
That's
go
either way. Yeah.
The Last of Us season 1. Season 1 was incredible, featuring the Long Time episode, one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. Really incredible stuff. Invincible, which I just love that show. Again, the superhero subversive thing. House of the Dragon season 1, and see, I enjoy season 2 as much, but I really enjoyed the first season of this, continuing the Game of Thrones squabble between these two Targaryen families. Season 3 comes out this summer. Really excited for that. And my number 1 show of the decade so far is Shogun, which came out, I think about 2 years ago now. Incredible, 1 season only. I think they are going to make more seasons now, but go check out that first season if you've never seen it. Incredible.
I remember, when they said Shogun was just 1 season, it was done. Thinking like, there's no this is how the capitalists that run this thing are going to demand more content. They don't care. And it does seem a little bit like it's going that way, but if it's anything like the first season, I think Shogun's going to be great. I had not watched House of the Dragon. I fell behind on Invincible and The Boys. I didn't watch The Last of Us. Terrible. I can't keep up with you. You are the TV king of off-script film review for sure. We got to talk about fight scenes, all right? And I'm going to be honest, Andy put this on the timeline. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm excited. I went and picked some in my head. I got some ideas for favorite fight scenes of the century. What is this about, Andy? Fill us in.
So this is more about top 10 lists and how you can really come up with lists in lots of different and fun ways. And one of the things I had heard this year are the top fight scenes of the century. And there's a lot of good to pick from, but it's interesting to think of different ways to put together a list. The Big Picture podcast has been doing 25 for 25. There's been doing, top directors, top action scenes, top things like this. So this is one thing. We're not going to talk about this too long. Some things that popped into my mind. I mean, again, do you include like the superhero stuff? How much of the superhero stuff? I'm trying to think. Entire movies like Mad Max Fury, is all of Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I mean,
scene?
Notables for me, I pulled up an article from Collider just to scroll through a little bit while we're talking, just to give the folks at home some visuals. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks. Hit the sub button while you're at it. And this is best action scenes of the 21st century, but they got some decent fight scenes in here. I mean, you get Kill Bill in 2003. All right, you got like Casino Royale parkour chase from 2006, right, when they rebooted James Bond, like, and that's the opening of that movie. God, you've got the Inception rolling hallway with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like rolling around on the ceiling, which is nuts. You know, they even got like Rogue One, like Darth Vader marching down the hallway at the end, like slashing dudes to pieces.
Not
you
much
know,
of a
like
fight.
no, not for them. I guess you're right. No, nobody's really fighting in there. They're kind of just begging for their lives. Yeah, that's true. But man, like just some really creative stuff. Like when you just think of a fight scene, you think of like people swinging on one another. I mean, the raid, like there's so much more than yeah.
Yeah, I had the thing that always came to me is Batman versus Bane, the big fight there. I mean, it's endless. Bane is just like monologuing throughout the whole fight, and he's beating Batman up the whole time. Kind of comes back in the end. Yeah, Kill Bill. I think also what inspired this was from Old Boy to also 2003, the long hallway fight, which is like a 4-minute nonstop. It's a oneer. It's kind of what inspired to people to start trying to do the oneer again. 4-minute fight scene with Choi Min-sik, where he fights 100 guys or like 30 guys in a hallway, and you see it kind of side scrolling like a video game. Just incredible stuff. But yeah, you could think, and then there's also like where does a fight end and a battle start? Like once it gets too big or too small. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, you got Mission Impossible, Henry Cavill reloading his arms, right? And Mission Impossible Fallout and that fight scene in the bathroom. John Wick happened this entire century, right? So any John Wick fight scene you're a fan of, congratulations. That's probably going in, including that wild Hotline Miami sequence with like the top down with like the Dragonfire shotgun and John Wick 4. Tenet happened in here, which like, don't get me wrong, not incredible fight scenes in Tenet, but like the backwards bullets and stuff are nuts. God, Mad Max happened in here. RRR happened in here. Like Furiosa is in here. Like it has been quite the century of fight scenes, I think. And like we're only through a quarter of it. So I don't know, man. Looking forward to seeing more. And also, as for clever lists, I think you and I should rip those off wholesale. I think we should absolutely shamelessly rip those off and put out as many of those as we can. I don't know, man. They're fun content. That like they got me really inspired over there. They're making a lot of cool content. We need to start lifting every good idea they have and taking them for ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah. We have one more movie to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about on this?
No, I'm ready.
I feel like you have talked so much, but I need you to do one more thing. I need you to give me the summary for Marty Supreme. So whenever you're ready, sir, please take it away.
Marty Supreme. So this is the latest film from Josh Safdie of the Safdie brothers, starring, of course, the great Timothée Chalamet as Marty Mauser, who's a young ping pong tennis table player and who's bound for greatness, and he's going to take everyone with him. We first meet him working as a shoe salesman, and he's a bit of a con man or a charlatan. He's trying to sell this woman some shoes. He grabs some shoes that are undersized. She says they're uncomfortable, so he can upsell her to something more expensive. We also meet Odessa A'zion's character, Rachel. They're having an affair. He's just someone who kind of plays fast and loose. He goes to this tournament in, I think it's London. He rents out the royal suite in the Ritz. He runs into Gwyneth Paltrow's character, who's a fading movie star. And he's like, I'm going to be the greatest. You gotta, and he's someone who is great at what he does, but he feels like the greatness around him hasn't quite caught up to him. He ends up running up a huge bill for this hotel stay, and ends up spending the rest of the movie basically trying to go through different schemes to get money to pay back these fees and to fly overseas so he can play his nemesis Endo in Japan. It's a really interesting movie, not what I thought it was going to be. It's not really about the ping pong. It's a character study about a man who feels like he's bound for greatness, and it's not quite happening. And lots to talk about. Zach, what'd you think?
So I liked Marty Supreme. If you were listening to our top 10 list, I put it on my number 3 of the year, just behind Sinners and One Battle After Another. I thought it might be my second favorite film of the year, but dude, Sinners is really good. That being said, Marty Supreme is a blast. I guess I thought it was going to be a bit more of a globetrotter than it is, because you see a lot of locations in the trailer, but a lot of it actually takes place in New York when, Marty Mauser, loosely inspired by real life ping pong player Marty Reisman, is like just trying to get cash. And he's just like this, like it's just this like entrepreneurial mindset movie. You know what I mean? It's like just being an idiot in your 20s and like, I don't care. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a star. None of you understand me. Get out of my way. It's this attitude of just like bowling forward headlong, even if you don't know what's next. You know what I mean? Just try to get to the next thing. It ends up being a movie where you're kind of scrapping for cash a lot. And I do think that's where some people have been disappointed. And I'm going to be honest, it is very much in the same shape as Uncut Gems and Good Times. And I think that might be the most damning thing about it. Good Time, Safdie brothers' last 2 features, it is so much shaped like those movies. Like it's almost painful. But I do think it's a little bit better than those. I think our boys have learned, our boy, Josh Safdie, Benny Safdie's off doing Smashing Machine. I think he's learned from those last 2 features. I like this one more than those. I already like those fine. I think this is my favorite, but they do kind of make this sort of like trilogy of like pained men who are kind of assholes, but you're still rooting for them anyway. Like somehow by the end of the movie, you're like, you still want them to win, even though you know they've kind of been a dick to everybody. And like, I think that's special. And that's not the kind of thing I see often. And it really fits with Chalamet's big push, man, for just like dream big. I'm aspiring to greatness. Like he just seems to fall into this character so good.
Yeah, it's a really incredible performance. It does have the movie does have the chaotic energy of Uncut Gems, where there's just like scenes where 5 people are talking and yelling at each other. There's different kind of vignettes. There's a whole plot with a dog that they have to try to get back. There's some mobsters chasing him at some point. They're hustling people in the ping pong hall. And again, all this has happened with Marty Mauser. He's talking his way out of something. He's BSing everyone to get cash, to get rise, to get and it's working. That's the thing. He's just charming his way for most of the movie. But I think part of what really grabbed me in the middle of this is that there's this really cool atmosphere where the soundtrack is anachronistic. It starts with all these songs from the 80s, and it's a strange vibe because it's a movie that looks like it's from the 50s. It's a period piece, but you got this 80s soundtrack. And someone said that it almost feels it's like Marty Mauser looking back on his life, 30 years in the future kind of thing. But it brings a different kind of energy having that. That way you don't having like 50s tunes in the movie. You have something much more modern, and it brings just a lot of energy to the film. Just more the juxtaposition makes it really interesting.
Yeah, composer was Daniel Lopatin, who I don't know. He did Uncut Gems and Good Time, so that's what else he's done. Also The Bling Ring, so he's definitely a Safdie favorite. And he's done a lot of work with The Weeknd, doing music for his stuff. He's a composer for Hurry Up Tomorrow, that Weeknd movie. Really eclectic soundtrack. I swear to God, at one point there's like frogs. Like bullfrogs in a track. Yeah, I was like, what is it? Like really interesting choices. Marty, like he wants his superpower to be table tennis, which is a thing that nobody cares about. Like nobody takes seriously. But his real power is like unabashed confidence. And as somebody who's I'm I'm self-employed and I'm not very good at it. If I could talk like he talks, just to be like, oh, it's going to work. Of course it's going to work. Why wouldn't it work? Like, God, I feel like I'd be doing so much better. And in that way, he's a bit of an inspiration. But then he says, like, he finds out early in the movie that like Kevin O'Leary's character, who's playing like capitalism, the man, like it's great. He's like, there's this rich dude who could fund Marty, but he's working Marty like a puppet, man. He finds out real early in the movie that his son, Kevin O'Leary's son, was he's died in World War II, and he immediately rips a joke about him dying at Auschwitz that is so brutal. Like, I heard a gasp in my theater.
My God,
people were like, oh my God. Gasped. Dude, he has like 6 or 7 lines in this movie that are so mean. You're like, holy God, like just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like just to get on the page. It's almost, I hate to say Trumpian, but it reminds me of like Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. This same kind of attitude that like I am young and I'm going to work it out and no one's going to stop me. And like like it gives him this kind of magnetic personality. Like he's surrounded with a cast that's wonderful. Odessa A'zion is really heartbreakingly fantastic in this movie as this young girl who's kind of crazy about Marty, but she's back in New York and he's got a dream, baby. He's got to hit the road. Tyler, the creator, as Tyler Okonma in this movie, is kind of his goofy friend who's really great. Dude, he should act more. Gwyneth Paltrow, fine. I like Gwyneth Paltrow fine. She's fine in this movie. Honestly, it's nice to see her playing a role that kind of fits her a little bit more. She's not just doing like Pepper Potts. Like she's kind of like this actress who's kind of had her heyday and is trying to get back into it. So she kind of sees something in Marty, and they kind of have this kinship to them. And then a bunch of goofy extras. Like they're almost like the Chair Company, like people who would not normally fit in a movie like this, but just make it feel so grounded and human. One of the guys in this movie, he plays one of Marty's business associates. He's working on this orange ping pong ball. That's the Marty Supreme ball. That's what the movie's named after. Apparently Josh Safdie saw that guy in like a video on Twitter when he was like drunkenly answering a question, almost like the Hawk Tuah girl. And Safdie literally DM'd him on Instagram. He's like, hey, can you be in my movie? I think you're amazing. And that's how he landed this. Like very, wow. I don't know, very grounded. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of really funny work going on here to make a movie that feels unique for a period piece, something that should feel, I don't know, like out of place and somehow it feels special.
Yeah, some interesting things about the cast. So Gwyneth Paltrow is, in a way, is playing herself. She's playing a faded star, kind of trying to find her way and her own success. And that's Gwyneth Paltrow is exactly that. She's never really not been a star, but she's not as big as she was in the 90s, for instance. Kevin O'Leary, who you may know from Shark Tank, the business mogul, is in this, and he's actually pretty good. As this, he's basically playing himself as this kind of sniveling businessman. However, I just think while he is good, I mean he's worth several $100 million. So you're just a rich man is taking away work from that could have gone to a real actor. Because I just imagine Willem Dafoe in that role. Imagine J.K. Simmons in that role. You could have had a good role, could have been great, and it's good. And he's good, surprisingly, but I wish it would have gone to a real actor.
Yeah, me too. Film is shot by cinematographer Darius Kanji, who shot Seven, notably back in the day with David Fincher, but more recently has shot, here, check this out, Uncut Gems, with the Safdies, Mickey 17 with Bong Joon-ho, Eddington with Ari Aster, and then he shot this movie, Marty Supreme. Like, just banger after banger. Crazy. Like, a couple of those made the top 10s. Like, nuts. He does really great work in this. A lot of handheld, a lot of fast-moving stuff. You got Timothée Chalamet sprinting down the street, right? You got runaway cars. But there's also this really great sequence of like this, I don't know, this feeling of freedom. There's the sequence when Tyler Okonma and Timothée Chalamet like hop out of this taxi and they're dancing alongside as it's driving, and the camera's in the back seat, and it just feels like this sort of runaway freewheel. You know what I mean? Like you're just young and you have the whole world ahead of you and you're going to figure it out. And all of that is great setting for like when things go horribly wrong and get violent, which is what happens in Good Time and Uncut Gems. Like inevitably all of this fun leads to a place of danger. And it's really great in the third act when a couple of these like dangerous points from act 1 and 2 literally run headlong into each other. Like there's a sequence when our characters are driving towards a conflict that they cannot avoid. And it just feels like, oh my God, this is all going to go so wrong. It's exciting, and it's so much more exciting than like a table tennis bio should be, but it's not really what it's about, ultimately.
We haven't talked about ping pong at all.
Yeah, I think it's notable, too, because the table tennis is not shot that good. Honestly, it's fine. It's mostly shot in wide. I think they CGI'd the ball in for a lot of it. But compare it to like challengers, like the way Luca Guadagnino shoots a tennis match, right? And like gets so kinetic and involved. And it ends up having sequences of like the ball is the camera, like versus like this, where the table tennis is just like kind of pulled back. Like you get some good stuff. It's handheld, right? You get some stuff at the tourney, but like it's pretty basic. And like I think that's intentional because it makes it feel like how everybody else sees table tennis in the world. This is not that big of a deal. Nobody really cares. In fact, at one point he's like playing for the Harlem Globetrotters, which Reisman really did, and like that was came from his bio, and like it just seems kind of lame. Like he's got a talent, but there's no way you can get by on this, right? Like you can't live a life here.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of about being that young and saying, well, it doesn't matter what the world says. I'm going to make this happen because I'm Marty Mauser and I have this, you see the shot in the trailer. He's like, the thought of failure doesn't even enter my mind. And that's how he really feels. I listened to an interview with Josh Safdie where he talked about, he's inserted himself a lot into this movie where he had this dream to make Uncut Gems for a long time, and it took a really long time to make. And then he made Uncut Gems, and then Uncut Gems was a huge hit. There was Oscar talk about it, big movie for Adam Sandler. And then he was like, well, I've kind of achieved the big dream. What's kind of next? And that's, you can see that put into the movie as well. So that it's an interesting thing. It doesn't, like I said, it's not really a sports movie. It's not about like it's not an underdog tale where he's got to go and train with so-and-so and he's got to overcome family drama and to succeed. Like, it's not like he's already kind of at the top when we first meet him. It's not that kind of traditional sports biopic. It's about so much more.
Yeah, and thank God he's good. Like, that's the other thing. Like, Marty Mauser is good at table tennis for sure. He's not bad. Like, the man's got skill, but just none of the world sees it. People are like, ping pong? Like, this is really going to take off? And he's like, yeah, it's next week you're going to see me on the cover of Wheaties box. You know what I mean? Like, this unbridled optimism and like confidence to run headlong into a situation you know nothing about is, for some of us, inspiring, but often damaging to the person doing it. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. How you see these shades of Mauser who seem like he has it all together. Oh man, this kid's going places. And then when you follow him for a while, you're like, dude, he's got nothing. Like, he is so out of gas. He ran out of gas miles ago and he's out walking, like, but I don't like, somehow by the end of it, you're still pulling for the kid. Like, you still want him to win. You know what I mean? Dream big. And like, there's something about that really got me. I know we got to wrap it up. We're running super long, but it's a big episode of the year. I got to know, Andy, I put this on top 3. I think a lot of people think this is one of the best movies of the year. This didn't even scrape your top 10. Why?
It is in my honorable mentions. I might need a rewatch of it. First of all, it's a little bit too long. It's a full 2.5 hours, and I feel like it kind of meanders in the middle. We have a number of kind of side quests. It starts to feel like a lot of side quests in the middle of the movie. It gets more focused by the end. Like, the Act 1 and 3 are great. In the middle, when we're supposed to be having a lot of fun, there's just a lot of running around New York doing crazy stuff. So it also just didn't hit me quite as much. I may have suffered from overhype because, reviewers and critics that I really respect have been talking so highly about this. People who got to see it in the festivals were like, it's electric. It immediate, like, my favorite movie of the year. And then I thought it was good. I think it's good, but it didn't hit me the way some of the other things like Hamnet or One Battle After Another. Like, I was expecting that level of punch to it, and it just didn't hit me quite that way.
Yeah. The reason I asked is it's top 3 for me, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, maybe I'm overreading this, right? Maybe I'm just putting this up here because everybody says it's good, but I try to bottle it. And I'm like, if I was at Cannes or something and I had no idea what this was, I hadn't seen a trailer and just saw this flat out, I think I would really like it. So I don't know. I might move it around too. We'll see. These lists are subject to change, but for now, I think we got it locked in. I got to know, Andy, would you recommend Marty Supreme?
I would. It is definitely one of the best films of the year. Incredible performance by almost Marty Mauser, Timothée Chalamet, as well as Odessa A'zion, Tyler Okonma, Gwyneth Paltrow, and more. And not the kind of movie that you think it is. It's more of a character study of a young man who's feels he's destined for greatness and trying to make it happen, even if the reality of the world isn't quite like that. And him doing some growing up. Fun soundtrack by Daniel LaPatton. Go out and see it. Maybe not take your parents, because it's definitely a very grown up movie. I thought about taking my parents, and now I'm glad I didn't. So
yeah,
but highly recommend.
No, don't take the parents to see Marty Supreme. Would recommend as well. Tons of fun. Chalamet's on it, man. Every holiday's got a big movie out. Wonka a couple years ago, Dune 2 last year, Marty Supreme this year, Dune 3 next holiday. Christmas is Chalamet. All right, it's the way it's got to be. Marty Supreme's a lot of fun. Would recommend. Good Lord. And that is our episode. Andy and I are inserting the Avatar thing. This is still one of our longest recordings of the year. So glad we got to do it with y'all. What a year it's been. 2025 has been a crazy year at the movies. And I'm looking forward to covering some other stuff in January when it slows down for next week. I think we're taking the week off, right, Andy?
Yeah, so since we're putting this out on Thursday, January 1st, we're going to be off this week. There's no new releases on January 2nd anyways. We're going to be back on January 13th with It Was Just an Accident, the Jafar Panahi film, which is now on VOD. It's on the short list for Best International Feature. It might be nominated for Best Picture overall. And then we're going to do some TBD, see what else is out there. Some FYI releases. Primate, the monkey horror film, comes out January 9th. That's the only kind of big release in the next couple of weeks. And some upcoming things later this month. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple on January 16th. Return to Silent Hill, January 23rd. And The Moment, January 30th. That's a Charlie XCX film. But next week, It Was Just an Accident and TBD.
Like I said, 28 years later, The Bone Temple will save our January. It's one of the only bright spots I got in there. Also, dude, I am so tired of waiting for No Other Choice. Like, Andy and I have been kicking around the idea of watching that, and we haven't yet. We haven't pulled the trigger on it because we can't really get it. It's not really theatrical. I don't know if Neon just hates making money. I don't know what their deal is. Like, God, if y'all would put your damn movies in some theaters, I can go to my local Cineplex and there's like 3 Tollywood features and a Bollywood feature down at the far end, dog. You can't get No Other Choice down there? You can't compete? Come on. Whatever. Anyway, we're taking next week off. The week after, we're doing It Was Just an Accident. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited to talk about it. Thank you so much for listening through 2025, through this episode, through whatever we got going on. If you like what we're doing here on the show, please subscribe, rate, comment, review, like, hit the bell, whatever. All that stuff helps us out, I promise. Any engagement is good. For any creator you know, engagement equals good for them. That I promise. Every click is a click that is positive. So please do us a solid and click away. Thank you so much for watching the episode. If you like what we're doing here on the show, you can check out our website, offscriptfilmreview.com. You can email us correspondence directly, mailbag, write in a review. We'll probably cover it here on the show at mail or offscriptfilmreview.com. You can check out our social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and all the usual places. We got clips. YouTube is really exciting. We got a lot of stuff going on over there, so come check us out. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartMedia, our audio listeners, thank you for listening. I hope, we always hope these big list episodes work in audio format. They typically do, but if they didn't, hey, tell you what, right into the show. Let us know, man. We're always looking to grow. And, I covered the website, covered the mail. I think it's the whole thing. All right. From all of us at Offscript, welcome to 2026. Thank you, 2025. What a year at the movies. And I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Thanks for watching.